And even more important with AI, because now we got to think about how consumers are going to change and their habits and their behavior is going to change with the ease of use of AI. Hello, and welcome to another Google Business Buzz. It is again Henry and my good friend Jay, and we've got a good one for you. We are going to talk all about the brand awareness factor that is Google and Meta, right? We know that there are many, many places where consumers are looking, consumers are searching, and consumers are hanging out. So we want to touch on all the places our small business owner audience can place their companies to really compete with the rest of the crowd. Jay, how you
Henry,
doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Hey everyone. Hey Henry, it's good to be here and I'm so excited to talk about Meta or Facebook today. So as you all know, Henry and I are big Google fans, big digital marketing fans, and we're always talking about how certain platforms in the digital marketing realm can complement one another. One example is Facebook and Google. Facebook and Google are two sides of the same coin, and really, when we talk about Facebook, we want to get used to talking about it in terms of meta. Meta is how we should be speaking about this, and Meta is huge, guys. Meta encompasses so much. Meta encompasses WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, and even Threads, which is kind of a Twitter competitor that hasn't really kicked off yet in terms of popularity, but maybe soon. So, why is Facebook so special, Henry? What makes this something that small business owners can't afford to miss?
Sure. That great intro into Meta, right? You know, made a great point. It's not just Facebook, it's Instagram, it's WhatsApp, it's Threads. They even have Oculus and their Meta AI now, which is just amazing. Uh, but to your question, what makes Facebook, Instagram like really different, stand out? It's that people hang out there, right? There's an old adage that eyeballs equals dollar signs, and that's very true when you think about Meta, because that's where people are looking at what their friends are doing, what is their family posting on their stories. You're going through all of the different news updates from the different channels or pages that you follow. You're getting updates on lifestyle and like different trends that you do need to keep up with. And honestly, personally, I get a lot of my information from X, from Meta. Instagram is pretty much where I'm at, and that's where people hang out, right? You're not bouncing from these places. Or you're coming back after you bounce, because it is where you're accustomed to being. It's an app that's always open on the phone, right? Instagram for me is always open on my phone. And imagine, a scenario that has actually happened in my situation where my wife, she sends me a message through Instagram with a dessert place that she got an ad to. And I'm looking at this dessert place. I see that it's really a nicely done video. So my Google mind takes me to Google Maps. I want to see the reviews on their Google business profile. I want to see what they're posting there. I want to see how far it is from my house to see if it is actually a viable, choice. So imagine that customer journey. Right. It went from a Instagram ad to an Instagram message share to another user searching on Google Maps, reading reviews, clicking on that direction button to analyze, right? And not only that, right? What else can you do on Google Maps, Jay? Like, what's the next step?
Oh man, on Google Maps, you can there's the Reserve by Google platform where you can actually schedule, you can set an appointment or a reservation, a booking essentially. And so in this customer journey example, you could actually, if it were a restaurant that your wife had sent you an ad for, if you checked them out more on Google, you liked what people were saying about them, you could actually go and set a reservation, or you could get the directions for, after work when you and your wife want to go get dinner for the family. So that's an example of closing the loop on the customer journey across platforms.
Exactly. That's exactly it, right? And now let's add something else in there, right? Because I use iPhones. My wife uses an iPhone. I use an iPhone. My daughter has an iPhone. We're an Apple device family, and I prefer using Apple Maps sometimes. Like there are occasions when I would use Apple Maps. So in this scenario, we add the calendar event to the cal, right? With all of the information, the address. And through there, I click on the address. It takes me to Apple Maps and I just click go. So it's like it's all right. We started on Instagram, we made the reservation, which is basically a close, right? A conversion on Google, and then the real conversion, which was making sure that me as a consumer gets accurate directions to that location. That's the actual close, right? That's the conversion because I actually went there and, fulfilled my commitment through the reservation and they got my money, right? And it was a happy experience, right? All in all. So, you know, the customer journey really is filled with different avenues and you have to be everywhere. You really do as a business owner in 2024.
You do. And what makes being on Meta so much more intimate, everyone, so much more special? Think about what Henry just said. On Google, you're meeting your customers where the transactability is. You're meeting them for a call, you're meeting them for a message, you're meeting them for a transaction, a click of some kind. On Meta, it's way more special than that. You're meeting people where they're at, not just for the transaction. You're meeting them as who they are. Think about all the demographic targeting that had to happen for Henry's wife to get that ad, right? Somewhere in setting up those Facebook ads, whoever set them up had to highlight, okay, hey, I'm looking for maybe female, age between so and so, who lives so and so, who enjoys this, different interests, different taste profiles. They are really whittling down into who the person is to be able to target them to show them that ad and then ultimately end up in that transaction. That is a level of granularity. It's a level of specificity in terms of the audience targeting, guys, that is unparalleled. Google is amazing. We know this, but Meta is amazing too. Meta complements what Google cannot do as well. You're talking highly visual. You're talking extremely specific targeting. So it's interest targeting. It's meeting people where they're at as who they are. It's audience targeting, demographics, interest, behavior, age, gender. And then you can narrow down the audience even more through financials, through income. So that's the power that is at your fingertips as a small to medium sized business owner that you're missing out on if you're not taking Meta seriously.
Mhm. So important. You said something so important there. It's it's how you target this audience, right? And what is this audience? This audience is already on Facebook. They're already on Instagram, right? They're that's where they spend a lot of their day on their social platforms, right? So there, as a business owner, you are inserting yourself into their lives, right? They might not even have had a notion of going to eat at an Indian restaurant that day, but because of that ad or even just a post that maybe somebody reshared that they follow, then they are like, hey, honey, what do you think about making reservations here? And the cycle begins, right? So it's totally powerful, like you said, when you combine both, because one thing is inserting the idea, educating an audience, a new audience, gaining that following, right? But then the other thing is making sure that your data is correct, right? So that when me as a user, I want to visit that restaurant, I get there accurately and efficiently, and I'm not taken to a restaurant around the corner because that map marker was incorrectly placed. that is bad user experience, and that could lead to bad review and many other things, even a loss in revenue, right? I mean, the thing is everything works together in tandem. You gotta look at these components as a like a whole picture. Would you agree with that, Jay?
1,000%. And it's not just about one type of campaign or one type of conversion. I need everyone to understand that there are multiple campaign types that you can run on Facebook. There's brand awareness, there's conversions, engagements, lead generations, phone calls, video views, website traffics. Guys, there is so much you can do. And just like Henry's experience with his wife, I also have an experience where my wife was very well targeted by an Instagram ad. And they know that, my wife is really into eco-friendly, sustainable cotton clothing. And, you know how the story goes. She gets an ad, and then I'm, going to this store's website to purchase a $70 pair of pants. But that's just the power of using Meta to, again, meet people where they're at and as who they are. Nobody can do that better. And so, Henry, what are other different types of use cases for using Meta that small businesses should be apprised to?
I mean, every time a user begins their journey when researching, something that they need or something that they want, they're gonna start somewhere. And I mean, honestly, you need to be everywhere that search begins. If you're a 65-year-old, over 65-year-old, you might be very used to using the yellow pages, right? That was a big deal 10, 20 years ago. The physical yellow pages was a really good resource, and they still have an online following, right? So you got to make sure you're on yellow pages so that you don't avoid having that audience. That's good money right there that you want to have visible to your business. You want to make sure you're on Yelp because people are on Yelp, right? If you're an HVAC business, if you're a home service business, if you're a restaurant, even more of a reason to be on Yelp. You need to be on TripAdvisor if you're a restaurant or a hotel. You need to be on House if you're a home service, right? There's so many places that you need to be. So you got to really cover the board. Google, Facebook, Instagram. It's not even we shouldn't even mention that. That's obvious. You should always be there, and you should have all of that information synced up. Same name, address, phone number, same categories, same services, same logos, same photos, same URLs, because Google, Meta, and users are all looking for that those signals, right? For that to be consistent across the board. If me as a user, if I start on Google and then I want to see what they're posting on Facebook, and the name is even slightly different, I'm gonna be questioning, right? And I'm gonna be like, what is this? Should I use this business? Is it the same business? Then I have to do extra work and cross-reference the phone numbers and stuff. It's like, no, no, you should really make sure that logo and that business name right off the bat, just like if you're in the real world, just like that. You want to keep your online presence as spick and span as the real world, right? If you have a logo that is shining and prominent on your location, right, and one of those letters go out, what are you going to do? You're going to call the sign guy to come out and fix that letter because it's going to look bad without having that shiny letter. Same thing on your locations, on all of your platforms, on all of the different publishers that exist. Apple Maps, Yahoo, Bing, still important. Google, Meta, all of these places, they're still important. And even more important with AI, because now we got to think about how consumers are going to change and their habits and their behavior is going to change with the ease of use of AI. I was showing you earlier what I could do with just the Google app, right? And you just speak to it and it gives you high quality results. And where is it getting this information from? I've seen that the directory sites, these publishers like MapQuest, like Yelp, like Yellow Pages, have seen an increase in importance because of AI, because that's where they're going, as along with Instagram, Facebook, Google. They're going to all of these other places and they bring it into that search result, and they deliver high quality results at an ease. of use that's incredible.
Speaking of AI, you also showed me something incredible with Meta AI, guys. So we live in a world where obviously AI is a heavy, hot topic, as it should be, because it's going to change many things about life as we know it. Now, you guys by now should all know about OpenAI's ChatGPT. You should know about Google's Gemini. You should know about different types of AIs coming out. One AI that we've alluded to before that we haven't actually spoken about, that Henry and I really got our hands dirty playing with prior to this podcast, is Meta's AI. Now, Henry, you showed me an example where you told it to portray an elephant tap dancing on the moon, and it gave us an image. But not only was a mode of result an image there, you mentioned that we could also get short videos, that we could also get different forms of media. So, can you speak a little bit to what SMBs, what our audience need to know about Meta AI and how that can help them in marketing for their business?
Oh man. So yeah, this is something our good friend Zuck released about 2 weeks ago. He became viral when he released it. I don't know if you saw the video. He was wearing a chain,
I did,
right? He was
yeah,
wearing a
got the
nice cool
beard.
chain. That beard was modified. It was placed after the fact. He
Oh
didn't have a
man.
beard, but he looked really
Okay.
good with the beard, so he went viral. It was great. And then he leaned into it too. So it was also really good for Facebook and how he announced Meta AI. And this thing is really, really another level of AI. I don't think I've seen another AI be able to generate images like this. And what you said is legit. Like I ask it to create or imagine a elephant tap dancing on the moon, and here it is, right? Not only that, when I when I click the enter button, right, and it gives me more results, and it can also animate these images, and then it can give me a video of the entire process because the way that it's working is that you start typing, right? Imagine an elephant tap dancing on the moon, and it starts to generate images right as you type. So it doesn't even wait for the prompt to finish. It's as you type. And then once it's done, it gives you those images that you asked it for, right? The different um the different types of options. It gives you four different options. Then you can animate these options and then you can make a video of all of the images that came up as you typed. It's really good. I can see use cases like for for posts that you want to insert your product in, right? Like add a emergency towing vehicle, to the surface of the moon, and it'll do it for you. You add an HVAC guy working at the top of a tall building. It'll do it for you, right? All of these use cases are coming up. And I mean, who knows what the future will bring. We have DALL-E with OpenAI, which is also very, very impressive, and Gemini has their own image creator. So who knows where we're going with this, because it is the first iteration, right? This is like the technology's first evolution. I can't wait to see where we are in a year, honestly.
I agree, man. It's gonna be it's a crazy time to be alive, everyone, and it's only gonna get crazier. So, what do we do with all of that information and all of that change? We incorporate it into our model of how we approach advertising, about how we approach doing business, and we stay prepared. That's the motto here at the Buzz: is not being left behind, but rather using this information to stay a step ahead and be very much present with that conversation. So, Henry, I think that that we said a lot of what we needed to say. So, in conclusion, everyone, not only is Facebook Meta a visual powerhouse, not only is it part of a cohesive marketing strategy with and could be a part of the customer journey with, again, the example presented of someone bouncing from a Facebook ad getting interest, or an Instagram ad, to then going and checking out the business on Google, going and checking out their website, their products, their services, you name it. Facebook also has a bunch of unique strengths. There's different types of targeting that get very granular. There's audience targeting by you can go by engagement, you can go by interest, you can go by who they are and meet them at at where they are and what they do. And that's a level of intimacy really that other platforms don't do as good of a job at getting to. So if you want to understand who your customers are and meet them where they are, you better be doing it with Facebook, and you better be doing it in tandem, in parallel with Google to reap the most reward out of that. So thank you as always, everyone, for watching, for listening. This has been another episode of The Buzz. Till next time, take care.
Thanks, guys. Like, comment, subscribe.